listen, there were 6 kids, 2 parents, both of them off doing their own thing, working hard. God bless them.
And you had your grandma. Wasn't your grandma living with you and helping you out?
She was just telling us, watch out for those Protestants. They'll get you at school. I mean, she was from the Victorian area, literally.
Yeah.
So she was always trying to get my sisters to wear like a corset made of whalebone. Yeah. One of the things my grandmother would always say is, don't sit in wet grass or you'll get diarrhea.
What?
This is the kinds of things.
Wait a minute.
So yeah.
Wait a minute.
No, I love my grandmother. Her name was Maudie, but I don't,
I'm just curious on the logic of that. Is it that the wetness from the grass is seeping in and infecting?
There is no logic.
Well, yeah, what are you doing? There's no logic here.
You know, I can't have...
Beanie.
I will tell you a true story, which is, this is an absolutely true story about my brother Luke. We lived in Brookline, Massachusetts, and we would walk. There was this store that we would go to. It was like a small grocery, and our parents would send us, my mom would send us on errands. Like, can you go get some hamburger? Can you get this? Can you get that? And the store was in this one area where there were these tougher kids, like the Irish Catholic kids that played hockey, which my brother and I definitely were not. They were the ones that played hockey, and they kind of knew those are those weird kids. Their father's like a scientist, and they read, and and I think we kind of stuck out, and they thought we were strange, and so we were walking over. My brother Luke is very, very highly intelligent. He's really smart, and he was really very precocious at that age, and much smarter than I was, and still much smarter than I am. And we walked down to Star Market one day, and these tough kids came over and they kind of half surrounded us, and they were sort of pushing us. And the thing to say, at least in our town in those days, was if you wanted to say something negative about someone, you say, what are you, mental? And Luke actually said to them, well, mental is Latin and it implies of the mind. So that's kind of a compliment. Thank you very much. Bam! The beating that ensued lasted for 20 minutes.
I was on your...
You know, I do remember that. I know. And, you know, Luke weighed all of like 80 pounds, and I probably weighed 81 pounds. And he was older than me, but he had he had been a little sickly. So anyway, it was just absolutely...
What do you do when your brother... You just hide?
Oh, I think I said, I don't know him.
Oh, no.
Even though we look identical.
Yeah, you guys look so much alike.
Yeah, people did think we were twins practically, but I think I pretty much had a standard line, which is, I don't know this man.
I'll help you hit him.
And yes, if anyone gets tired hitting him, I'm a pretty good hitter.
Here's a stick.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you don't have to use your fist. There's some rocks over here. That way you don't bruise your knuckles. And then Luke, of course, at the bottom of the pile would say, well, rocks are actually more, they're denser than the actual bone of a fist. So I think Conan's got a good point. You know, the Greeks believed.
No.
Yeah. What are you, mental? Well, Latin does imply, yes. And then I'd run home to tell my father, pater. Some hooligans are thrashing Luke. What? Which one's Luke? Luke is the 1 year older than I. But a year separates us. Of the 6, he is 2, and I am 3. Oh, pater, what a thrashing he's taking. I don't have time to do anything. What am I supposed to do about it? I'm a microbiologist. Father, you say you're a microbiologist. Why do you sound like a prize fighter? You lousy. By the way, did you pick up that 2%?
Not the time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, anyway, a little
glorious.
Luke, I love you.
Glorious.
You're still smarter and better than me, but man, you shouldn't have whipped out that Latin.
My grandma went by Eddie. That was her name.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What's her full name?
Eleanor.
But why Eddie?
I don't know, to be honest.
My grandmother, who lived with us for a while, who I think was born in 1890, so, and she really saw everything in a lifetime. But we always knew her as Maudie. Her nickname was Maudie. And we would say, why is your name, what does everyone call you Maudie? And it was because there was a comic book, a comic strip when she was about 8 years old about a mule named Maudie that would kick. And at the playground, she once kicked, like some boys were bothering her and she was kicking at them. And they called her Maudie. Oh. And so 100 years later, we're saying, hey, Maudie, pass the salt.
What's her real name?
I'm shocked you guys weren't country club people.
Yeah, I know.
You mule damaged lineage.
Yeah.
What's her real name?
Yeah.
It was Ruth.
Ruth.
Which was my mom's name, too.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's your mother's mother? And they
did
like
my mother's mother.
But female junior.
She was named after... She was named after this kicking mule in a comic strip that was popular in 1900 or 1898. And then it stuck like one day on the playground. Yeah, you're a real Maudie, that one. And then cut to, us 100 years later. Not 100 years, but whatever, 85 years later.
You called her by her nickname, though? You didn't call her Grandma?
We called her Maudie.
Okay.
And we called our grandfather, my mother's father, Hoofer. And because, no, that's true, because he, as a young man, he was a policeman in Worcester, Massachusetts, who directed traffic, but he knew like one dance step. And people were like, yeah, you're a real Hoofer. And that kicker over there is a real Maudie. And so we called him Hoofer and Maudie. And then the one day we go to enlist at the country club, they're like, well, tell us a little bit about yourself, kid. Hey, there are 6 of you. You seem to have been born 3 months apart. And your shirts are all torn. Tell us about yourself. Well, our grandmother's Maudie after the kicking mule. And our cop grandfather is called Hoofer because he knew a dance step. He used to kick the winos with it. All right, well, there's this back door here you can use. What should I tell my mother? Should I tell her that we're in? And we can come here and eat peanut butter and jam sandwiches? No, get the fuck out of here. Do you want to hear about my other grandfather, Shitsy? Get out! Get out! Oh. All right. Enough. And by the way, God rest your souls.
Shitsy.
Hey, Shitsy, get over here. Why do they call him Shitsy? Hey, took a shit when World War I was declared. He shit his pants because he knew he had to fight. So we call him Shitsy.
Say hello to Jizz Schmeckman.
Shitsy.
What's your... who did he marry? He married... Oh, fuck it. Oh, fuck it. Yeah. When she was 3 in 1850, she banged her shin on a stool. Ah, fuck it. So, fuck it, met Shitsy. So about this country club application, where do I sign? And where do my 15 brothers and sisters sign, who are all born the same day? And where do we check inbred? Hey, is that a golf course? Can we play? We've got hockey sticks.
I can't breathe.
Quick apology to my family.
Too late.
For throwing you all under the bus.
My finger off, and it was fine.
Do your kids eat all kinds of food, or are they super picky?
They eat all kinds. They do.
That's amazing.
Well, it's just because we just, we give them a lot of ethnic food, and then they just eat a lot of.
We tried that
stuff.
when my kids were little, especially my son. So picky, super suspicious that everything was poison. Would only eat very specific things. But when I've been around you, they're eating everything. You just can pull something out of the lawn and they'll eat it. It's incredible.
And we do sometimes. We just go out there and get something and just put it.
Often it's just grass. Yeah, which is weird. I don't think there's any nutritional value to that.
You put enough spices on it, it's fine.
They just look like kids that eat everything.
They do. They eat a lot. I mean, but Beckett eats now.
Okay, we don't use his name on this podcast. Now
You've said his name many times.
Never.
A lot of times.
Never.
Yeah.
His name's Rick.
His name's Rick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish. This is Rick O'Brien, my son.
I think I had a pretty good save there.
Yeah, pretty solid.
But Rick
If anyone's mad at me, they'll be like, where is that Rick O'Brien?
No, he's good. But I'm saying as little kids, I was very picky eater. I was very, very picky.
Were you?
Which doesn't work because it was one of 6. There's kids. There's a bunch of kids in my family, and I was one of 6.
You probably got food hand-me-downs.
Yeah, I'm like, this hamburger doesn't fit me.
Yeah,
this hamburger fits Neil.
Week.
The hems on this hot dog are too long. None of that makes sense. It's just stupid. Apologies all around. But the point I'm trying to make is that I remembered once saying to my dad, he was serving us all something, putting it all on the table. And I said, don't you know I don't like this? And my father said, why would I know what you like or what you don't like?
Oh, my God.
And you know what?
Oh, my God.
He said, why would I know what you like or what you don't like? And look, I'm not putting my dad down because I actually think he has a point.
And then he went on to call you Rick.
Yeah. Listen here, Rick. You're going to shut up. And you're going to eat that marshmallow and potato sandwich.
I appreciate the honesty because I think maybe my dad was that way, but also would never have admitted it.
No. This was a rare moment of candor from my father. And he was kind of just saying, there's 6 kids. There's a bunch of animals running around the house, like pets, dogs, cats. My brother Luke had parakeets. Your grandmother lives with us. And your both parents work full time. And then suddenly this kid with an orange bowl haircut is saying, don't you know this isn't my favorite repast? And my father's saying, what? I barely know who you are. Shut up, open your gob and shove it in.
But what were you thinking? He would just go make you a special meal that was different from everyone else's?
I think for a second, I just, whatever was put in front of me was like, no, don't you know I don't eat swordfish? Don't you know? And this was the 70s.
Yeah.
Nixon was resigning. It was a tough time.
What does Nixon signing
that
up to
changed
do with
people's
weight?
appetites across the nation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think we were all just on edge about inflation and what's Ford going to do and what's this new show, Saturday Night Live? Uh-oh, Chevy Chase left. Will the show ever continue? And that was the mood of the times. And then here I am saying, I'm not sure this fish is my favorite. Father, hello. Ding, 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 ding. I had a spoon and I was banging it on a cup. It said, it said Nixon in 74. And I'm like, ding, 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 father.
Oh, God, it's probably real.
This cod is not quite to my liking. I like it broiled, not fried. And he was like, what? Shut up. Eat it. I don't even know which one you are. Which one are you? Are you even one of ours? Are you a boy? Are you a girl? Are you one of the pets?
He's asking all these questions out loud.
He's asking them out loud. And I'm like, well, first of all, as we can all tell, I'm all boy. Second of all, I'm the one we call Conan. Third from the top and fourth from the bottom. Lolly, lolly, la. Then neighborhood bullies came in through the window in my own house and beat the shit out of me.
Oh, my God.
Father, help me.
I would have been one of those.
My father was like,
bullies.
here's $20. Hit him again.
I think this is truly the first time I felt pity for you. I actually feel for you.
Really?
Yeah.
For that guy I just depicted?
Yeah, because it felt real. It felt like, God, yeah, your dad didn't know what you did or didn't like.
Come on.
I felt pity for his dad.
Yeah. And I do want to, I do love my dad, and he's a great dad, and is still to this day a great dad. But yeah, did he think constantly about what my desires were? No, because it was a different time. It was the Depression.
No.
Yeah. For me, the Depression includes part of my first 10 years of my life. The Depression goes from 1929 to 1979 because it includes my depression as a child. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yes. God.
Yeah, we'll pick up more on that. Father!
I'd like him to
Father, the
return.
toilet seat on the third floor is vinyl, and that's not how I like to ride. And you know that, Father.
Did your brothers kick your ass?
First of all, that's just rude. And secondly, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We all knew the
Neil,
answer.
bigger than me, much stronger than me. But actually, Luke and I together couldn't take Neil.
Wow.
So we used to try and, we were like these two small
countries in the Ottoman Empire that banded together to try and take on, a huge empire. And he could still take us, and he would just laugh and throw us around the room. So I think maybe a secret to why I'm so hostile. Who can know? Who can ever know?
Did you pick on Justin because he was so little?
I would never do that. And Justin, if you're listening, my apologies for 15 years of hell. I had to go to college, so I had to stop.
Oh, okay, good.
No, I would play with Justin all the time. He's our youngest, and but I would play. My games were insane. I mean, he was like It's like he was trapped with a madman. So he would say, "Can we play cops and robbers?" And I'd say, "Sure." And so I'd be the robber, and he'd be the cop, and then he'd like say, "You're under arrest," and I'd say, "Well, okay, I'm suing you now." And he'd be like, "What?" And I'd set up a table and say, "You need to fill out these forms because I think you had no right, and I think you avoided my constitutional rights." And then I remembered it ended once with him. I said, "You have to go into this prison because you've been taken off the police force." This is like 1981. He said, "You have to go into this prison," and and I said, "You're the guy who shares a cell with you is a robot who's there to spy on you." And he was like, "What's happening? I just want to play cops and robbers."
Oh my God.
So
And he's a lawyer now.
He's a lawyer now. I think to fight those same injustices. I love you, Justin, and I apologize. I thought we were having fun.
I don't even know you, and I love you, Justin, and I sympathize, and I feel for you, and I apologize.
It's so funny. I had to leave my family, and I recreated one here. And I figured out a way to turn it into a quasi-business.
Yeah, I know.
And then just, oh, good, I can pick on these guys.
You're the Neil.
I think it was a weird song to teach your children at such a young age.
But they should assimilate, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good. It's fine.
I always feel badly for my mom because I think deep down she really wanted us to be the kind of kids that could go to a country club, and we just weren't. We were Irish pirates. And I used to just pretty much tell her that. Like, what are you talking about? We're just Irish. We're 100% Irish.
Yeah.
We're bums.
But she was an intellectual. Your dad is an intellectual.
I know, but it doesn't. It was no. And then I know my parents are very smart, accomplished people, and then they had kids, and we were like, "Arr!"
But it kind of backfired on them because you are very intellectual, but in a way that probably infuriates them.
Yes, yes, I know.
It's like some kind of Cassandra curse. Like, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Something went horribly wrong, but
it's just like therapy. It just sparked a memory. So when I was a kid, we used to have just regular Christmas trees, sawed off Christmas tree, and you put a little water at the base just to keep the needles green for 15 days, 20 days until it would start to die, and then you'd toss it out after New Year's. So then I remember sometime in the mid-'70s, my dad, who was always trying new things, found out that you could get a Christmas tree that had the root ball intact. And that way, and he said, "This is amazing. It's fantastic. We're going to have our Christmas tree have its root. We're going to bring in a live tree with its root ball."
Why?
Listen to this. We're going to bring in a live tree with its root ball into our living room, and then we're going to plant it in the side yard after we're done, and it will live with us forever. And over the years, the different trees that we have will create a forest. Now, I need to explain to the listener that we have really no side yard. Our side yard is like it's a 45-degree angle drop. And before you get to the Strom's house, who are next door, it's a 45-degree, it's like a cliff, and it's very narrow. I mean, maybe it's 15 feet across, if that. And so...
What a lush forest.
And so my dad, sure enough, Christmas is over, and we all had to haul this tree out to this... Even the birds are laughing at this story. We had to haul this. It's true. It's true. He's off to tell the other birds. You won't believe it. This guy's dad was an idiot. We would then have to dig a hole. And
You actually did it.
Yeah, we would have to dig a hole, and it was really hard ground. And my dad was like, "Come on, hurry up!" And we'd be like, "I just want to play with my Christmas toys. Hurry up!" So we'd dig it, and we'd put the tree in the ground. We did this for like 5 Christmases in a row. They would always leave soil all over the place. And my mom was always furious and saying, Tom, there's soil all over the place. And we're like, the tree, it'll shelter us. There'll be a forest. And finally, my mother said no more of this because I think one year the root ball completely exploded and there was just soil all over the first floor of the house. So that killed that. But anyway, those trees, they never did shit.
No?
Like they died pretty quickly. I think there's 1 or 2 that are still there. But they look like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and it's been like 35 years.
So you go back home and you see the trees that you planted long time ago, and they're still kind of there?
Well, I try. Here's what's funny. I go back to visit. My parents still live there. My brother Neil is there. And I try to go. And last time I was there, I tried to go into the side yard. And first of all, it's like descending a mountain in Switzerland. You need to tie a rope around your belt to go down. And I go down and I'm just looking at these little, hi there, Conan. Like, it's not the mighty tree my dad thought it was going to be.
Oh, it's not a forest?
No, it's not a forest.
But that's a nice idea.
Yeah, isn't it funny how all I heard was Christmas Tree Lane? And it took me on this
Memory lane
of my dad saying, I've got an idea. Our Christmas trees will create a magical forest. He was wrong. He was just wrong.
Do you think he'd ever be like, I was wrong about the trees?
But my father admitted he was wrong?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Anyway.
Where'd you get...
Yeah.
What's that?
Wait, did that get passed down at all?
It sounds like it was passed down
Genetic?
from your dad. Sounds like someone
have your
got a trait
dad's
from
traits.
his dad.
You can't
Sounds like
share your
someone
parents.
doesn't know how to
Can't admit you're wrong gene is
when
passed
they're
down from the mother. That's any geneticist will tell you that. That's just common science.
Do they still get Christmas trees?
Do I? I
No,
always
do
have
You get a
they?
real
Christmas tree.
one?
Do your dad and mom still get Christmas trees?
Yeah, there's still a Christmas tree there.
A real one?
Yeah.
I went fake a couple years ago.
Oh, no. We would never do fake.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I would
Oh,
never do
okay.
fake.